I've been talking a lot today about emotions and the different sort of nuances as we tune into all the emotions that we feel. And I wanted to also introduce you to one of the tools that I use in my own practice, and for myself as well. And it's called emotional clearing, and it's the tool that we use when we go through the spiral. So on the spiral website, you can also access these things that you'll see me using for free, because it's a tool that you can learn to use on yourself as well. So someone who's a spiral practitioner can do emotional clearing kind of for you and with you, and it's also something that you can learn for yourself, and it's really, really powerful. So I'm just going to give you like a little bit of an introduction to it. So it's one of the basic practices of it is based on kinesiology, and the idea that which I really like as an animist, the kind of idea that our bodies can answer questions for us. So, and we do this through self muscle testing. So you want to have a hand that creates a circle that locks. Actually, my most locky one is those two fingers, and then a hand that's a little bit more subtle or loose. My favorite, you can test it, but my favorite on this hand is that finger and that finger. And so what I'm doing is doing like a little pull, and I ask a question, and if it looks, is a yes, and if it breaks, it's a no. So it's a kind of tuning into like when things feel like strong and powerful, like or bleh. Get like a kind of, oh, there's something in there. And then we use this really cool chart of emotions based on the 5 elements, which I think comes from Chinese medicine. And so it's about asking yourself questions and then finding the emotions that are lurking and helping tune into that nuance and figure out exactly what we're feeling, and then clearing some of the sort of like stickiness and the charge associated with those emotions. So I'm just going to do a little demonstration around what I've been feeling with the kind of the situation in the Ukraine, and how to be helpful, and how much grief I've been feeling, and this kind of like sense of like depression-y stickiness that I've been feeling. So a really good question to ask is, let me think of a good one. It's almost like you can think of sort of like journal prompt questions. What is this bringing up for me is a really good one. So what is the current situation in the world bringing up for me? Let's have a look. And we go around the elements: fire, earth. Oh, it's in earth. Spleen, stomach. So I've got a break on stomach. Empathy, disgust, worry. And then within the Clear Your Shit book at the back, so it was in earth, wasn't it? It's got very particular definitions of all of the words and emotions. And yeah, so the definition of worry in here is a recurring concern about future outcomes. Yeah, that is right. I am worrying. So then the next thing that we do, and it's not about not feeling, we're not kind of like trying to numb out the feelings, it's just about getting a bit more our energy a bit more clear and clean, and sort of a bit more discerning, so we kind of are able to name and know these things and move them. So the next bit and this is the bit that we do a lot of in the spiral, the next bit is kind of like working with your body to move that emotion around a bit until it feels a bit nicer, and you're a bit more able to act or do things. So the basic clearing that we do is 2 fingers on the either side of your forehead, just to connect either side of your brain with a very, very light touch. And then we're just going to breathe. Now this is where it can be really, really helpful to make some big sounds on your out breaths, and just maybe do some wriggling as you practice this. And particularly if you come through the spiral with me, you'll figure out what feels good and what your body likes to do, and you'll get better and better at listening to it. Could be, sometimes it burps. I tend to yawn as things move. So I can feel, yeah, it's interesting that the worry sits in my stomach, and I can definitely feel that as a kind of tightness. So I'm just going to bring some attention and some love into that part of my body and just see if I can soften it. And it's not that there are not things to worry about, but my worrying isn't helping. And because I'm consumed with it, and because I've got this knot, I'm not actually able to act on the worry or make a difference. I'm just worrying, and I'm kind of getting like a loop. That gets to go. It's making me quite hot. And this is the thing, as we get used to like moving our emotions around, they want to move. Our beings want them to move. And as we practice this kind of stuff, it's almost like an intuitive movement, a bit like we were talking about intuitive eating yesterday. I'm really hot now, which is interesting because I was feeling, I've been feeling better as I've been sharing these days with you, but the worry for me was showing up as a kind of as a coldness, a stuckness. My blood wasn't really flowing around because, I was the worry was a bit of a fight or flighty feeling for me, and that makes me freeze. I tend to be a freezer. So yeah, of course my energy wasn't flowing around, and now I feel like I could actually do something instead of just worrying for the sake of worrying. So yeah, that is how emotional clearing works. And it's something that I offer in my sessions, and it's something that you can learn too at the Spiral website. So I'll make sure there are links and things, so you can find those resources or come and book in for a session with me.